Hey guys, it's Elisa and I'm back with another video. If you're new here, I don't know what's in my eye. If you're new here, welcome. Do subscribe, like, and share. And then if you're not new, welcome back. I missed you guys. Did you miss me? I missed you guys. I feel like I need an intro. I don't think I have like a proper intro. So if you guys like have something I can use as my intro, please do share in the comments so that let's do this together, because I feel like every time I'm just saying anything different or whatever comes to my head and I'm just like, yikes. But anyway, yeah, so in this video I will be talking about 10 things that they don't tell you about being an international student in Canada, right? Yeah, so the first thing I'm going to be talking about is Canada is a very cold country. Like, Canada is very cold. They're going to, like, let me not say but you're going to see ads of like, oh, study in Canada, scholarships. I don't know, I think there's also like fully funded and all of that stuff, and how like education is not as expensive in Canada, but they're not going to tell you how cold Canada is. Like, you receive the scholarship and you come, and then you just receive the shock of your life with winter, because it's like super cold. So yeah, I feel like from this video, if you've been thinking about coming to Canada, consider that Canada is a very cold country. Prepare yourself. Prepare yourself. I don't know, but prepare your mind. Yeah, prepare your mind, prepare your body, prepare everything for the winter. For me, I haven't gotten to like experience the full of it, like winter and whatnot, but then I just know that it's gonna get cold, because right now it's not cold, but it's gonna get cold. And yeah, it can be very cold. And yeah, just so you can have like a feel, the degrees reach maybe like -40, -35, -50, 45. Yeah, so you just want to prepare yourself for that, especially if you're coming from a country that's like hot. To be specific, in Africa, if you're coming from a country from Africa where it's like hot and whatnot, trust me, you and don't buy things that are like for winter back in your country. Like me, the last thing I even wanted to do was buy coats, boots, and all of that stuff from back home, because the winter back home is the total opposite with the winter here. Like, they're completely different, completely opposite. Like, some of the things that I can wear home for winter and be warm are not what I can wear here and be warm. It's not even because it snows, but because it just gets really cold. And I don't know if I should say I'm glad, but then most Canadians have like been complaining to say, oh, like I think when I went to the hospital, there is this group of women who are saying, oh, this winter is so boring, last time this was happening, whatever. I'm like, boring? Man, I'm not yet ready. Like, I know I've prepared myself like with the warm stuff and whatnot, but I'm not ready, because what do you mean it's boring? But anyway, let's move along. And then the second thing I want to talk about is the high cost of living. Education is like not so expensive. Okay, let me put it this way, right? There's domestic students, then there's international students, right? So domestic students are always going to pay less. Like, anywhere you go, domestic students will always pay less, and then international students will pay more, right? So there's that. But then it's not, the difference between domestic and international is like, you can tell that there's a difference, but then it's not as bad as other places, like other countries and whatnot. However, when it comes to the cost of living, it's a whole different story. A whole different story. Like, even when you're trying to, like, maybe let me say purchase a house that you can purchase here for like 3 million is a house that you can purchase in another country for way less. Like, way less. A car that you can buy here for I don't know how much is a car that you can buy somewhere else for like way less. That's how it is. And then when it comes to things like buying household appliances and whatnot, groceries and stuff like that, all of that also is just like on the high side. Like, things are like expensive, considering that there's already the price of the item, right? Then there's a tax rate added to that, which also just escalates everything. So I will just tell you that the cost of living is high, and you have to like really prepare yourself. People are not going to talk about it because, again, especially as an international student, there's the whole no, school here is not as expensive and stuff like that. The cost of living okay, but yeah, it's like it's let me say it's a bit crazy, but then yeah. And then the third thing I'm going to talk about is how the cost of like medical services and all of that stuff, like being hospitalized and whatnot, it's, you pay little to know. Okay, let me not say little to know, but like you pay a small amount compared to anywhere else you can go in the world, but the services are extremely slow. I have heard stories where people die in the waiting line, where pregnant women deliver in the waiting line, where people get worse in the waiting line at the hospital. Like, you could be at the hospital and wait for 23 hours until you are attended to, or even 14 hours. Like me, just a few months ago, I had an issue. I don't know what was going on, but something happened at the back of my head, and I was like, yeah. So I went to the hospital. At 21 and was only attended to the next day at 8. And someone could say, oh no, you went late and stuff like that. No, I remember right at the hospital there's a man, and he was old. That's the thing. There's a man who went to the hospital. I can't remember his condition, what happened to him, but he waited 23 hours. Now imagine you get to the hospital at 8 today and only get attended to maybe at 7 the next day. Like 8 a.m. today and get attended to tomorrow at 7. It's crazy. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. I regret not going to the hospital. Like, yes, before I came here, I did medicals and whatnot and all of that stuff, but you don't really see your results and whatnot. You only know you're good when the visa comes and you've been approved and whatnot. That's when you know, oh, I'm actually okay. But then I feel like I should have actually known what maybe I can pay attention to more and stuff like that. I really wish I did that back home, so that for the time that I'm here, before I go home, maybe for the holidays and whatnot, at least I know, like what to pay attention to, and if at all there's anything wrong and stuff like that. I really wish I did that. I went to the hospital. I don't know if I was traumatized or what, but I remember crying. I remember crying in the hospital because I couldn't believe that I sat in that hospital from 21 hours to 7 to 8 the next day, and only got attended to around 8:30. I'm like, and the thing is that for me, it wasn't even that bad of, like, I wasn't even in the worst case scenario state and whatnot. There were people who are actually worse, like way worse than me, but they had to sit there and wait. I was so moved. I cried. I cried, like, guys, I cried. But anyway, please, 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 before you come here, make sure that you go to the hospital, you have yourself checked. I know you're going to do the medicals for your visa and all of that stuff, but also just do separate ones so that you know what to look out for and what not. Like, you know, when you know the state of your body, right? When you know the state of your body, you're not, okay, here I have to work on this. You have to, like, maybe let's say you see your blood levels, you know what, okay, I have to work on this, I have to do that. You get what I mean? But when you completely don't know, you just like have that to say, oh, I'm fine. When you come here and you go to the hospital, first of all, the procedures. Let me move on before I start crying again. Anyway, the fourth thing I'm going to talk about is finding a job. How it's not easy to find a job. Guys, when I was coming to Canada, I thought, oh, when I go to Canada, I'm just going to apply for a job and I'll get it and I'll start working and I'll start paying for my own stuff and whatnot. My plan was that when I get a job, I want to start paying for my own stuff. Like, I want to start buying my own groceries, maybe even just like pay my own rent and stuff like that. Not because my parents can't manage to do that, no, not because of that. I just wanted to do it for myself, and yeah, like I just wanted to start doing that for myself. And my plan, actually, I hope my mom and my dad are not watching, but, or any of my siblings, my plan was that I'll still be getting the money. My plan was that I would still be getting the money for like rent and all of that stuff, but I just wanted to pay for myself. I don't know if it's making sense, but okay, yeah. Obviously, at some point I was going to like stop because, yeah, also just to become partially independent, because they would still be paying my tuition and all of that stuff. But yeah, I just wanted to like get a job and start buy my own groceries and stuff like that. And then I've been here for 7-8 months now, and the number of sorry, we will not be moving on with your application to the next stage. We've chosen another person. The number of those I've gotten at this point, you know that it's out of discipline that I'm even now applying for jobs. It's out of discipline, not because I don't even know how to put it. At first I wanted like, let me apply, but now I just do it for the sake of like, I have to, because I set this as an aim or as a goal and whatnot, so I have to. I'm just applying. Guys, you're not even getting paid the most, but like, for you to get a job, prepare yourself. And the thing is that for me, the transition has been very, very hard to deal with, at least to cope with, because back home I worked for my parents, right? And even if they were a bit lenient on me when it came to how I had off days and stuff like that. Okay, let me not say a bit lenient. I just used to say, okay, today what this. But yeah, in short, I'm trying to say they treated me like an employee, right? Yeah. So, okay, not 100%, but like, they treated me like an employee. Now, coming from that, where you're working every day and stuff like that, then you come here and on your weekends, I just sit it. If you're not studying, you're in the house. If you're not out, maybe doing something, you're in the house and stuff like that. And I don't know, it just makes it feel a certain way, because first of all, you're away from home. And that's another thing that I'm going to talk about. You're away from home, you're alone in this new country, in this new place and whatnot. You may have made friends, but like, I'll rest my case. The fifth thing I'm going to talk about is getting homesick. You know, it's exciting. It's exciting to be in a new country, in a different place, you know, because now you can come home at 10 p.m. and no one is going to yell at you. You can cook whenever you feel like, you can eat whenever you feel like. You think, hey, I've arrived. Oh! Okay. It's... I never thought I would get homesick. Not once. Not once. Like, especially when I was preparing to come here and whatnot. And even when I just got here, like the first few months of me being here, I never even thought I would be homesick. I loved being here. I loved everything about being here. And just... until one day I saw myself crying because I missed my friends. I missed my mom. I missed my church. I missed my boyfriend. Oh, yeah. Like... I miss my giant. Yeah, like I never thought I would be homesick. I miss the home foods like shima, katapa, fish, bream. Like, no one is going to tell you how you can get homesick. Like, no one is going to talk. Everyone is talking about adventure. It's a new place, new people, fresh air. What? Especially me who's like in a long distance relationship. If you thought you've ever missed your partner, wait until you're far apart. Then you will not. I actually miss this person. If you ever thought, oh, I miss my friend, wait until you've not seen the worst of it until you are miles and miles apart. Like, this is not even a situation whereby these people are 7 hours away or they are 5 hours away. No. Let alone there's the whole time difference thing. Right now it's 7 hours, like from between here and back home, it's like 7 hours difference. So they're 7 hours ahead. So my morning is their late afternoon. Think about that. You wake up and you're excited to talk to your friends, talk to your mom, to talk to whoever. It's 10 a.m. on your end, and then it's 5 p.m. on their end. So whereby sometimes I just like, you know what? I'm calling you whether it's 23 hours or it's 01. Like, it's exciting to be in a different place, to be in a new place and whatnot, but the missing, it actually kicks in, like it actually hits hard. You reach a point where you miss your people, and if you are maybe hours ahead of like back home and whatnot, that could work for you. But like in my case, we're 6 hours, 7 hours ahead, or 6 hours, 7 hours behind. Sometimes I have to sacrifice my mornings so I can talk to them, and sometimes they have to sacrifice their evenings so they can talk to me. And then sometimes we're just, someone texts you today, but you get to reply tomorrow because of the time difference. You text them today, they reply tomorrow. And then the funny thing is that some people even think, oh, does Elisa sleep or does she go offline? I actually sleep, but I can't necessarily go offline. I can just silence my phone, because for people back home, WhatsApp and Instagram and all of these other social media platforms are the only way that they can reach me. So to say that I actually disconnect and go offline and just do whatever I feel like, I can't do that. And it makes it worse. Like, it makes missing them worse. You get my point? But anyway, yeah. The sixth thing that I want to talk about is, if you're African, you really have to put in the work to stay healthy. Now, someone will be thinking, oh, what do you mean? The food that you eat back home, that you have easy access to back home, is not the food that you have easy access to here. Getting food from an African store here is expensive. Just in case you're wondering, how expensive can it be? I buy needle, 950 grams, which is like something like this, for kwacha equivalent, 850. Yes, just needle like this. Here it's like $30, but back home that's like 750, 600, 800, somewhere there. I don't know. Yeah. And then if I want to get the big one, it's like 1,000 something, because it's like $80. Yeah, $80. That's like 1.5. So already you can't buy that big one. So now you have to keep buying the small one. Now that same small one, you add that 30 plus tax. Yeah. So now you have to start adjusting to some of the things that you find here. And then you can consider things like allergies and whatnot. You find that maybe you try something here and it doesn't really work for you, and all of that stuff. So if you're coming from Africa, let alone Zambia, you have to try by all means to like stay healthy. Whatever you find here that maybe looks like home, or I don't know, but is healthy, please just make sure to eat, whether it tastes like, because most of the food here is bad, whether it's nice or it's not, just eat so that you can try to stay healthy and fit. Because I can tell you that if you're maybe here on scholarship and whatnot, and maybe funds are not an easy, you don't have easy access to funds, you're not going to manage buying from African stores all the time. Stuff there is expensive. Like, it's like, I don't even know, you're paying times 2 what you pay back home, or even times 3. And it's just I remember buying, what was that I bought? I don't know if those were sweet potatoes. I can't remember how much I bought them, but that's not how much I would buy them back home. But just so I could have a taste of home, or just so I could eat something I'm familiar with, I'm paying 3 times more. So when you come here, just be ready to try anything new so that you can be healthy. Otherwise, you'll find yourself getting sick all the time, and you'll be shocked. Some of the things you didn't even know you could get sick of back home, you find yourself getting sick here, because and whatnot. So yeah. And then the 7th, 8th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, the 7th thing is that here you can't really bulk buy stuff. Like, I've grown up in a home where we buy things in bulk, not because we're even a big family, but because doing the whole shopping thing, there's not really anyone to constantly do it. And then also it's a lot of work. Like, doing shopping is a lot of work, and it costs a lot of money. So I don't think it's something anyone has to be doing all the time. But here, you're forced to do it. Why? Because things like meat, the same milk, and yeah, someone can be wondering, why don't you just buy milk from there? Yeah, milk here is like really cheap. But if I'm going to buy milk here, I have to buy every week. Yeah, I have to be buying every week, because if I keep it for a very long time, I find that it's gone bad. So I can't buy milk like today, then I restock next month. It's not even possible. It won't even like. So yeah, like the expiry dates are like close. Like, so you have to be buying every week. That's why I pay more attention to buying dry foods than fresh foods. So because if I find myself buying a lot of fresh foods, I'll find myself wasting that fresh food because maybe it's gone bad and stuff like that. So yeah, things like milk, relish, especially relish. Oh my god, as you buy meat, then you buy next month. Some of devil nongek. Yeah, so people say freeze it and whatnot, stuff like that. It don't go bad. It goes bad eventually. But yeah, that's like one of the things that I don't like. And then the whole situation of where you have to like buy things all the time, like frequently and stuff like that, it just also makes your spending thing very high, because imagine you go and buy groceries today, you have to pay for an Uber coming back. Like me, I buy stuff, I go by bus, but then when coming back I have to get on an Uber because it's a lot of work having to move bus to bus with stuff. So I get on an Uber. There's that, and then there's the whole tax situation and whatnot, and it's work. So I don't, yeah. And then the eighth thing is that it's always raining here. Like, always raining. You can't really say winter, you can't really say summer, you can't really say spring, you can't really say fall. Like, from when I got here during spring, right? Spring, fall, summer, and now it's winter. There's not a time that it's not rained, at least more than 3 times. So like, you want to prepare yourself for the rain and all of that stuff, and then yeah, like, you really want to just pay attention to that. No one's going to really talk about it, but when coming, I would even advise that you just buy an umbrella from back home, because if you want to come and buy an umbrella from here, first of all, it's going to cost you more. That's 1. 2, I think the umbrellas here, most of them are not strong. I think okay, maybe I'm exaggerating, but tell me why. Like, I'm buying an umbrella for a lot of money, but it does mashakala, or like it's like a small one, or like the price I'm buying a small one for is the price for a big one back home. You get? Yeah. So like, just buy from home. And yeah, wait, that's 8 things I've told you. I'm left with 2 and I'm done with my list. This is so funny. Anyway, we're going to say 8 things. 8 things. I feel like my 8 things 8 things they don't tell you about being an international student in Canada. So yeah, that marks the end of this video. I hope that you liked it, and if you're not yet subscribed, please do subscribe, like, share, and yeah, do comment. If you have any questions, ask me in the comment section, and I will be glad to respond. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching. See you next time.